Your alarm goes off. Your mind tells you that your schedule says you should hit the ground running. But oh man, that transition from the cozy covers to the coffee pot is legit. In this video, I want to show you how just 10 minutes can allow you to gently wake up your body so your mind can ease into this new day. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rini, and I guide you to find ways to connect your body and mind by way of the fascial system. So bring your newly awakened self and come meet me on the mat so you can give yourself 10 minutes as a smooth introduction to this new day. So one of my favorite ways to wake up in the morning is to get up from lying down and move to the floor and lie right back down. So that's what we're gonna do here. You can grab your roller, come right up on it, slide yourself down to the end so you have enough room to lie right back down. Oh my gosh, that wasn't so painful, right? To move from the bed to lying back down on the roller. Oh goodness. And so depending on how you woke, depending on how either stiff or slow moving your body is going to help indicate how much you're actually going to be moving around here on the roller, especially as we're just getting started. And so if you're super sleepy, maybe just landing on the roller here, it's all you got. And that is just fine. You can allow yourself just to feel the compression right through your hips, through your spine, through those shoulder blades. And so if you give yourself a moment here and you're like, oh, I just am gonna land. Allow yourself to land, but also allow yourself to check in, right? You can land, and as you're ready, you can land and slowly begin to check in. And by checking in, I mean, maybe you need to straighten out your spine a little bit. So if you need to straighten out your spine a little bit, you can go ahead and lift up just gently. Just give yourself a little glute squeeze, flatten out your hips on the bottom end of the roller there, and just see if, what other details you might need to fix as you start to check in. And maybe you're beginning to get ready to need a stretch here. And so you can stretch your arms out to the side, definitely at your own pace, but allow yourself to utilize the roller and the space that you've created with it, like that space between your body and the mat. Utilize that space to really accentuate your stretch. Maybe you lean a little towards one side. Or you use that roller to kind of squeeze into. And then you're like, yeah, that's good for now. That stretch was all I needed. I need another minute back in that neutral position. Then as you've given yourself another moment to come to, maybe you can think about extending those arms out to the side in a T position and shifting your head through that range of motion of no from side to side. And depending on which side of the pillow you woke up on, you may or may not have a ton of range of motion yet. And so your movement from side to side may look really pretty small. That's fine. Just explore your limitation. Explore those morning boundaries that you have. Just shifting that head from side to side. And if you ever find that you have room to take it a little further, go ahead and do so. And then from here, if you bring your arms back down to the side, one arm at a time, it's like you're doing a little backstroke here. You can bring that arm back behind you. And then like you're making a little snow angel back down towards your body. And we'll do that on the other side. You can bring that arm in a backstroke back behind you, and then bring it down towards your body. Let's do that again, just to help those shoulders start to wake up. That shoulder, that arm reaches back behind you, and then sweeps down back to your body. And on the other side, being graceful with any sticky points or clunkiness that you may have in your shoulder. And a nice deep breath. We're going to go ahead and slide right off of that roller. And so from here, after you've pushed that roller out of the way, you can turn onto your side body. And if you need your pillow here, you're welcome to bring your pillow. If you want to have the roller under your head, that's fine as well if you need a little extra support for your upper body. But what we're going to do here, and this is where it might be nice to have your pillow. You can have your pillow kind of behind you and under your head. But this top arm, as you stay with your hips stacked, that top arm is going to reach back behind you. So that top arm reaches back behind you. And if you don't have a ton of range of motion this morning, that's where the pillow is really going to come in handy. So you feel a little bit of a stretch through the side body and the front body through the chest. Maybe your top leg reaches out in front of you as your top arm reaches behind you, and you get this nice diagonal opening through your body, right? Oftentimes we're in a tight fetal position throughout the evening, so it's nice to begin to open things up, look for a little expansion. And just because we've come out of this more contracted state of sleep, let's go ahead and reset, bringing your leg and your top shoulder back into this neutral sideline position. Give yourself a moment and a breath here, and we're going to go ahead and do that same thing again. So that top shoulder, your torso reaches back behind you. That arm extends back behind you, and if it feels good for you, that top leg can reach out in front of you. And we'll stay and hang out here for a few moments. I want to draw your attention to that space right where your ribs, your front ribs begin to separate, right around that diaphragm area. And so as you drop back into this torso twisting position, this space, right as your ribs begin to separate through the diaphragm, it's kind of the focal pivot point in this rotation. And so really allowing your focus and awareness in through this diaphragm area. Sometimes you may notice that there's a fair amount of holding that happens through here. So see if you can bring your breath and fill your breath and your awareness in through this diaphragm area to let go of any holding that might be happening through those ribs, so your body can begin to soften and waken and move from that sleepy state into this more kind of full breath, able to kind of greet the day state. And so we're going to begin to undo our twist here, bringing that top shoulder back and that leg back if your leg was extended out in front of you. Coming more onto that side body position, and we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So here we are on the other side, and you can have your pillow as you see fit. Get yourself situated here on that other side body, and your top arm can reach back behind you, Really feeling that stretch through the front of the chest, maybe even in through those ribs, those side ribs. And if it feels good to you, that top leg can extend out in front, giving yourself permission to begin to settle into some of those areas that are feeling creaky, right? You're gently bumping into some of those restrictions, those morning restrictions that you feel. And if you're feeling really restricted here this morning, a little bit of gentle movement goes a long way, right? And so maybe you're like kind of bending and straightening your leg here a little bit, or gently rocking through that hip. Turning your head through a range of motion of no. Whatever it takes for you to not feel like you're ramming into a brick wall of morning restriction, right? A little bit of movement goes a long way. And then we'll bring ourselves back to that more neutral side lying position, untwisting your twist here, giving yourself a moment and a breath in this more neutral side lying position before we go ahead and take that twist again. So that top arm reaches back behind you. Your top leg reaches out in front, and you just allow yourself to gracefully feel those areas of restriction, giving yourself a little bit of movement. You know, a little rocking can feel very soothing to that morning body. You can move your head and neck through that range of motion of no. Maybe that movement takes you into a nice big morning stretch that feels good. And you're welcome to stay here for as long as you need to. Or you can join me in regrouping back onto that side body, untwisting your twist here. And then as you're ready, we're going to go ahead and meet on those hands and knees. And from that hand and knee position, you can just like wag your tail, shift those hips from side to side, arching through your back, arching, extending, arching and extending through that back. You can sit back into a little child's pose. And allow it to bring you into a nice big morning stretch where you can roll those shoulders back and down. And now, my friends, you have earned your cup of coffee. All right. I hope that this was a nice little lovely start to your day, and great job for starting your day by taking care of your fascial system. I will see you again real soon. Take good care.